Welcome everybody to Content Creators Toastmasters meeting. Today is July 25th and it is 5:35 and I'm going to officially open this meeting and welcome everybody here. I think everybody here has been in this meeting at least one time, so it's nice to see everybody back and you're always welcome. So, with that, I will hand this over to our Toastmaster for today, Jim Vitrano. Let's give him a big welcome.
Well, thanks. The welcome is actually for all of you for being here tonight, too. Some of you are joining from a good distance away, even more than me. Some of you are joining from your bed or close. So, however you got here, we appreciate it. Hope to leave you with some fun content creation inspiration today. Let's see. We actually have a fun word of the day, and I don't know if you want me to introduce it or save it for the grammarian, but there will definitely be some tomfoolery today. That's our word of the day. When we get to the content creation tip, I'll show you a little bit of local tomfoolery that I just discovered maybe 20 minutes before the meeting, and I'll share that with you guys. But it's a word with an old-fashioned sound that refers to playful or silly behavior. Everybody needs a good amount of tomfoolery in their lives, even adults, and maybe even cities. And we'll get to that here in a little bit. But the next thing on our list, I guess, is another spot for you to all chime in. If you've got some content creation progress that you've made and you'd like to celebrate it, you can feel free to jump on and talk about your ideas or progress or things you're thinking of, and we'll all applaud. No project managers here to ask why you didn't go faster, but but if this works as inspiration for you, this is a great spot to step up and have the work you've done get celebrated. So feel free to jump in or put something in the chat.
I'll jump in. My name is Dalal. Welcome, Alex, and welcome everyone to our content creators. I would say that one thing I've been noticing, I'm more free on social media, especially expressing my authenticity and expressing things like self-love, self-confidence. I would say that used to be a challenge, but now I'm much more free in experiencing what that feels like and experimenting with it. Where I'm at. Thank you for letting me share.
I did see your TikTok, Dalal. I came across my Facebook Reels since we're connected, and there you were, very
All
elegant
right.
looking and talking about, like you said, some self revelations that you were sharing with everyone. It was very well done. Loved it. Yeah.
All right, so not only do we have content creation, we have an audience built in. All right.
There you go.
Your TikToks are being seen. That in itself, just knowing that is some validation.
I can give a little update. Because some people were here at last week's meeting and I said I was going to start something, really thinking seriously about doing an interview with my mom and scheduling something by this week. I really did set a deadline for myself and I did have a setback, but I'm going to visit my mom this weekend. So what I am going to do is sit down with her and then just tell her about what I'm going to do and start prepping her with some questions and getting her ready because I'm realizing that life is short and we can't just wait to start having these conversations, especially with people that you love and that, we don't know what is going to happen in the future. So I just don't want to wait anymore. So it's in my mind and I know that that's something I need to do.
Those would be some nice memories to get down on tape or your hard drive or whatever media you go for.
And I also have an update.
All right.
So, since the last time I was here, again, my name is Monique. Welcome, Alex. It's good to see you. I wasn't here last week, Thursday, because I was out of town with the loud. And we had food. What was the word for the day? Tomfoolery time. Yes, we did. It was amazing. It was in Monterey, California. We had good cuisine. We went to different places. And no matter what was going on, I enjoyed her company. We really value self love and self care by honoring each other in our own essence and our own divinity. So that is very important in this life that we're living right now, to identify yourself with who you believe you are and not comparing each other. So this was my first time meeting her. We've been friends for a long time. This is my day one, my first best friend ever. I felt like I'd known her forever. So it was amazing. And also we went to see some sights in the beaches and things like that. And it was amazing. I put my feet in the sand. I haven't done that in so long. That was amazing. So I felt the energy of the earth and it was amazing. It really was awesome. So that's my update. And one more, I started my GED class in 2022. I will be taking my final test, math test for my GED in September. I'm excited. So that's good. That's all I have.
Those are both both great
One more. My TikTok videos. Oh my goodness. I'm on TikTok, y'all. I'm so excited. It was the feedback I got, the vibe, the energy was so conducive, so open. And then I saw a side of me that I don't know how it came out. It just came out. I was like, damn, girl, you gorgeous. I was like, whoa, that is me. And I was not one of these people that love social media so much. Now that I told Gina that I wanted to be, as she inspired me to talk about the healing and the healing journey and being in your own comfortable in your own skin and things like that. So TikTok was amazing. They gave you some amazing views. And my sister Delau, she did me up. She did me up. Oh my goodness, I look like fire. Oh, I was amazing. It was amazing. It was really was. It really was.
That's great. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to get your links after that that fired up of a description. We'll have to watch that. You didn't have an audience before, you'll end up with one after today. Anybody else have some content creation progress they'd like to get some celebration in for? Otherwise, I figure I can keep going. And I told you there might be a little bit of tomfoolery coming too, and I think I'll I'll do that in the form of a little bit of a content creation tip. And I found out just like maybe just 20 minutes before the meeting, my wife sent me this. So for those of you who don't know, I live in I'm not in the Bay Area. I'm in actually one of the suburbs of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And well, the name of my city is South Milwaukee. And you can imagine with a name like that, okay, yes, we're near Milwaukee, we're to the south, but there's a little bit of an identity crisis. And our city folks, I don't know who's behind this yet, but I'm going to find out, came up with some little tomfoolery and some content creation of their own. And our city now has a mascot. And it's Sam the Sasquatch. This is brand hot off the press. Just came out half an hour ago, and I figured I'd just share the video clip from the TV news. Did my screen come up? just to give you an idea of some creativity, you can even apply it to things like advertising your city.
Milwaukee has a new mascot who's grabbing attention online. His name is Sam. He's a Sasquatch.
Hi there. My name is Sam. For as long as I can remember, I've lived a very solitary life. People often fear me or think of me as some kind of monster. In reality, I've always just wanted to find a place to settle down. A place where I can be accepted for who I really am. What? Then I found South Milwaukee.
Well, according to Sam's website, he's the biggest cheerleader for local businesses, events, and fun. He'll be at the South Milwaukee Downtown Market until 7 o'clock tonight and at the South Milwaukee Heritage Days Parade on Saturday.
There's a place for everyone.
Sure, yeah.
I figured I'd share that. It just seemed like a really nice, creative way to get some publicity, and even for boring things like suburban cities. Our city isn't that boring. You saw the beautiful park, you saw the lakeshore, you saw a couple of local restaurants. It's a nice place to be. And well, now we've got a mascot. So there's maybe not a tip, but a content creation idea for you. So with that, we'll keep moving down the line. We've got some meeting functionaries today. Some people signed up here as we were getting rolling, and there's perhaps still a couple of ones we can fill names in for. But our general evaluator tonight is Monique. Do you like to say anything about how the general evaluator works?
Hello, everyone. Monique here, and I will be your general evaluator. And my job is to take notes on all aspects as the meeting unfolds. Is it running well and on time? Evaluate each participant on the agenda. Look for good examples of presentation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duties. When introduced by the Toastmaster, I will introduce individual speech evaluator first, then give your general evaluation, that's me, based on the notes I've took throughout the meeting. Encourage support club members while identifying areas of growth. Now, I also have an idea. We have a round robin evaluator, and I would like to share that with you guys for the general evaluator, because I will be evaluating Gina in her presentation, and I want to open it to a room for everyone to put their input in general evaluator. I want to share. Yeah. Tomfoolery. So that's what we're going to do. And the link is in the chat for anybody that wants to put their name with the general evaluator. It has, let me get that up for you guys. It has the content and relevance, clarity and understanding, emotional impact, engagement, delivery and style. Yes, I already seen you sign up right where Jim put that at. You have technical aspect, audience connection, practical takeaway, overall expression, suggestions for improvement. And these are the round robin roles. And that's my job. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Jim.
Thank you. Running table topics later in the meeting today will be Dalal.
Everybody. Oh.
Or do you want to surprise us later?
Actually, that's the funnest part about table topics. It's full of surprises and it helps us practice our impromptu speaking. So when you get called on to share something or you get a question about the content you create, you have that agility already in practice to come up with an answer. And I'll give it back to you, Jim, and I'll surprise y'all later.
That sounds great. We at least have an idea of what we're in for, if not the specifics. And that preserves the fun. Did anybody sign up to be timer? Right now the agenda just has a blank. If somebody grabbed it, I'll fill them in.
I mean, I could do it, but I would need somebody to time me if I do it.
Yep. How long do you need yours timed?
So I know I'm going to go over a little, but 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to
Hopefully, I'll be
7.
under 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
All right. No problem. Gotcha.
Thank you. So, Delal will time my speech, and I will. Oh, I don't. Actually, let me see. I'm on a different computer, so now I have to check my backgrounds to see if I have different colors, which, of course, I don't. But I am going to be creative because that's what I do. And in just a second, I will go grab something that is red and something that is yellow and something that is green so that I will hold it up on the screen. I have lots of paper. I'm in my makerspace, so I have lots of paper. I will hold up a color when it's time. And for table topics, it will be green at 1 minute, yellow at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Well, thanks, Jenna and Dalal. I was ready to jump in, but always good to share the fun. Also, another piece of fun ready to share is a grammarian and word of the day counter. Did anybody already sign up, or should we see if anybody would like to catch bad ways of saying stuff and other tomfoolery that might come up during the meeting? Anybody want that role? Otherwise, I could certainly grab it. And I think it's pretty much as I described it. I'll keep an ear out for fun grammar, especially good or questionable grammar. I'll also listen for some tomfoolery, and we'll keep account of how many times that word gets used today. If anybody else is in the mood for counting, we also have the counter roll. Anybody interested in that one?
Looks like
I see
Alex.
movement, but I
I can
didn't.
do a counter.
Alex.
I didn't see who that was. Sorry.
Yeah, Alex.
Alex. Okay, great. I will fill you in. Yeah, your highlight didn't come on the screen for me, but now we've got you. So thank you. And you know how the roll works, right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if you want to describe it at all or if you just want to move along.
Yeah, my role is to count any as, or any filler words that can create distractions. So it will help with your presentation. Thank you. Back to you.
Great. Well, thanks for that. And we are actually starting the process of catching up here. A little less behind than when we started, and our prepared speech will hopefully keep us more or less on time. Let's see. Today looks like this. Well, this is an icebreaker speech, which is normally a new Toastmasters member's very first speech, but it comes up in some other situations too. Today, our speaker, I know, is somebody who's probably spoken 100 times already, but I bet she's starting a new path. And when you do that, you get to start over with a brand new icebreaker, and you get to introduce yourself to your club. So tonight's speech, again, we heard was 5 to 7 minutes. Looks like the title is My Hero's Journey. And with that, let's welcome Jenna.
You're muted, Gina.
Sorry. Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Who am I? If I asked you to answer that question for yourself, what would you say today? On the surface, that might be an easy question to answer. For me, I could say that I'm generally a happy and positive person who likes dogs, crafting, learning, and I'm a huge Golden State Warriors fan. I've been married for 15 years, have a house and 3 dogs, and I come from a family of 4 with 1 younger brother and 2 parents who are also educators. There you have it. That's me in 2 sentences. But if you really wanted me to answer that question, who am I? At my deepest core, that's an extremely complex question, and one that I'm not sure all of us truly know the answer to. Heck, I didn't know the answer to that question until a couple of years ago when I finished reading this book, Ratchademic, by Christopher Emdin. This reimagining academic success. As I was driving home from work, I finished listening to the last chapter of the book, and I found myself bawling, a complete mess, in tears, just as I was entering the freeway. Never before had I been so connected to a book that it made me realize that I've been walking around as a fake version of myself. It led me to a complete mental breakthrough, a total epiphany at 2 a.m. in the morning after my brain had been stewing on these thoughts in the 2 hours of sleep that I had gotten that night. I opened my notes app on my phone and I started furiously typing my thoughts. All of those thoughts connected the ideas from this book to the work that I'm doing as an educator, and it more importantly led me to the most freeing thoughts that helped me embrace and truly love and be accepting of that question, who am I? Here's the passage that I wrote titled, Why I've Struggled with My Identity. Who am I? I'm a Filipino American. That's a term that I've always struggled with. How can I be Filipino if my own Filipino community, even my own family members, think that I'm not Filipino enough? I don't speak the language. I don't cook the food. I've always hated having to explain why my parents were not taught to speak Tagalog growing up in San Francisco in the 1950s. Having to apologize and explain their story to other Filipinos brought me a lot of shame. And it made me wish that I wasn't Filipino. As for American, do I really feel like an American? Maybe in the sense that we're living in a free democratic country, but now I question even that because as a minority, are we treated with equality and the same freedoms as the ones that this country was truly designed for? Did I feel like an American as a child who woke up every day wishing that she had blonde hair, blue eyes with beautiful light skin? Is that what an American should feel like? Because the image of American in my mind was always white, and that became my imposter cloak. I honestly and truly believed that in order for me to be successful in this world, I needed to act like I am white, just like that American that I had so clearly pictured in my mind. This is what the media and the education system did to me while I was growing up. Reading that back now, it makes my skin crawl to think that I was filled with so much shame about my Filipino American identity. Typing those sentences out for the first time was such a freeing experience. I was able to acknowledge how I felt my whole life and at the same time embrace and love the struggle that I went through. Because in all its messiness and all its ugliness, it caused me to be the passionate, caring, creative person that I am today. I'm no longer ashamed to be Filipino American because that definition isn't one that anyone can define for me. I now know that it was my job to love and accept that definition and what it means to me and only me. no one else. With that newfound acceptance of my identity and 2 years actively working on my healing, I feel like I'm now seeing the world and my role in it with so much clarity. I used to think that conformity and acting and sounding the way other people in our society expected was the way to be most successful in life. I've come to understand that that's the furthest thing from the truth, and why our education system and our society in general is so damaging to so many people, especially people of color or anyone who comes from any marginalized group. I always thought that there was a formula that I had to follow: graduate from college, start my career, get married, have children, live a happy life. Not being able to have children made me realize that true happiness is having a sense of self and purpose. Me, being an educator, I've decided that my calling is to help others answer that question, who am I? Despite the fact that we live in a world that tears people down for being different. Now that I run a makerspace, I've chosen that to be a place of fun, tomfoolery, creativity, innovation, imagination, and self-discovery for anyone who enters. I'm answering a call to help people discover and embrace their true authentic selves. I used to think that Joseph Cameron's hero's journey was reserved only for fictional characters like Luke Skywalker or Katniss Everdeen. I now know that my new call to adventure has put me on my very own hero's journey path. It won't be an easy journey with many pitfalls and setbacks along the way. But with this new understanding of who I am and the people around me who I can trust to give me honest feedback and support along the way, I've learned to embrace my mistakes, learn from them, and then keep evolving. I've answered the call to begin my hero's journey. Have you answered yours, Mr. Toastmaster?
Well, that was more profound than I was expecting from content creators. So really nice job, Jenna. Again, I think we'll all get a chance to give some feedback here in the round robin. It looks like there's still some blanks that people can grab if they'd like to
The
participate.
round robin is for the general. I'm evaluating general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I did pick
My
up.
bad.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. I might have missed it when you said it earlier, so that's on me. But I've got a couple of key phrases that I guess I'll be able to chime in on when we get to grammarian. So I'll get to say my piece anyway.
Okay.
And that works. And that works just great. But if you've got feedback for Jenna, you can
Yes,
feel free to put it.
I do.
You can feel free to put it in the chat. Send it straight to her if you'd like, or you can catch her at another opportunity here in the meeting. We don't run a super tight ship here, content creators. So there's certainly some time to get your thoughts aired. But with that, we'll keep moving on the agenda. The next thing up is table topics. And Dalal said she had some surprises for us, so prepare to be surprised. Thanks, Dalal.
Thank you. And we have made it to our table topics portion. I'm going to just get into firing these questions. So the quicker it is, I feel like the more tomfoolery will come out of us. So I'm going to just shoot right into it. First question is, in what ways have you gotten to know yourself in the creative process? What have you discovered? In what ways have you gotten to know yourself in the creative process, and what have you discovered? And I will ask this to Alex.
In what ways have I gone to discover myself in a creative way? I think what I've been doing right now, actually, I am going on with this one is trying to figure out who I am, just like Gina mentioned. And one of the things that is helping me actually is to remember the tomfooleries that I have done back in childhood. What is it that made me happy? What is it that makes me feel like I'm in the zone? That I even forget to sleep, to eat? What is it that makes me forget, oh my gosh, it's already 2 a.m. and I only have 2 hours of sleep? Yes, I remember those moments in my life, and I will be creating my own dashboard where I will analyze what is it that I love doing, what is it that I am great at, and what is it that the world needs. Have you ever heard of the term ikigai? I highly recommend you search Ikigai. There's a Venn diagram of different things, and at the very middle, you figure out what is your core, what is it, your purpose, and that will help you guide to your true North Star. And I think diagrams, drawing things is also creative. You can also color them. You can also brainstorm with other people. Be creative in finding out your true self. Thank you, and back to you, Dawn.
Thank you so much, Alex. And this is why table topics is my favorite. I would get so many awesome ideas. I'd be writing notes as I'm asking questions. Next up, I want to know, what is your creative content creation superpower? What is your creative content creation superpower? I'm gonna throw this at Jim.
My content creation superpower. I guess I've got two things that have been pointed out to me somewhat recently. Will they actually result in me exercising these superpowers? Yes, at some point. I can say I've gotten super far with them outside of some pretty narrow areas, right? Right now, largely putting together some content for work. But one of them is that I've had pointed out is that I'm a pretty decent writer. I've had that pointed out a few times, and I can generally, if I have the opportunity to put the effort in, I can usually come up with some pretty good ways to say what's on my mind and get it pretty well organized and understandable, and not have it come off super flowery. I guess how does that superpower work? I try to write like I talk, and I try not to talk in a very complex way either. So, but being able to take something that might be a little bit complicated and talk about what's most important and keep it simple, yeah, maybe that is a little bit of a superpower. Yeah, the second one, I think this is probably borrowed from my company's values statement. I had a boss recently point out that I took on some projects that were pretty far out of my comfort zone, and they labeled me with the word fearless. That's not a word that I usually associate with myself. I tend to be cautious, maybe sometimes reserved. So I hadn't really thought of myself as fearless, although I will say, I'm game to try just about anything as long as I'm not going to fall on my face and break my nose. So the combination of those things will probably actually be helpful for me once I get to creating some content. Just a matter of getting started next. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Jim. Yeah, those are some superpowers, being able to help people understand complex ideas and bring them in a way that reaches a lot of audiences. That's superpower for sure. And fearless, ooh, we need a whole different outfit. Like, for me, I think fearless, I'm like, we need to get a cape on. We need to get some things going. Uh, put some
Future
tomfoolery into our
Toastmaster.
fearless.
Yes.
Next, I got, okay, this question. When do you know how to share your ideas versus fostering them alone? When do you know when to share your ideas versus fostering them alone? Now I'll ask this to Gina.
That is a great question. I've always been a person who has has kept my ideas to myself because especially when I just didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I never fully believed in my ideas. I never fully believed that I had any of the right answers. So I would keep my ideas to myself and not really share them with a lot of people. But within the last couple of years, now that I've been practicing creativity every single day, I do it in my work. I'm constantly thinking of new things that I want to do and try. I'm keeping all of my ideas in my notes app and I'm actually voice recording them, but then I'm also sharing them with other people too, because I want to get their feedback. I see things from my perspective, but I really want to be able to see it from very diverse perspectives. I know that we all have biases, and so where are my blind spots? And I'm really trying to be conscious of that and think about that as I form these ideas and I let them take shape and then I try and put them into action. So I am now feeling more confident about sharing my ideas and getting feedback and letting those ideas grow and blossom and bloom into something bigger. And the part, I'm an idea person. So the part that I think I need to really work on is putting them into action. So now take those ideas and I just really need to put them into action. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much. And in not so eloquent words, that's what's up. So, my next question is, if you hit a wall with your creativity, what else do you lean on? If you hit a wall with your creativity, what else do you lean on? And Layla, I know you are present, but I was wondering if you'd like to participate.
Absolutely. And I'm so sorry. This is only my second time, so I'm trying to adjust to the meeting format.
Don't worry.
Okay. So sorry. I'll probably okay. Okay. There we go.
Awesome.
Okay. So my general opinion, very nervous. I'm so sorry. When I hit a wall, what do I lean on? I would just take a walk. I would like to do something different and get my head off of that topic for a while and also do something that I fully enjoy. So it could be something that is totally unrelated to the subject. But as I become more joyful in my orientation, I tend to get inspirations that could possibly help the solution that I was looking for. So, in that sense, I would like to do something joyful for a moment. I hope that answers the question. Okay.
Thank you so much. And that's a great idea. Take your head completely off of it. Focus somewhere else and let some joy in for inspiration. I love that. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Layla.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, welcome, Matthew. We are now in our table topics portion of our meeting where I just ask random questions and I call on someone and then you have 2 minutes to answer. And if you'd like to
Okay.
participate, would you like to?
Maybe could I observe one more session, then I can go next?
You got it. No problem. Glad you're here.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Awesome. And Let me see. My last question is, how do you incorporate some tomfoolery in your content creation? How do you incorporate some tomfoolery in your content creation? Now we'll ask this to Monique.
Good answer. I am tomfoolery. I connect with my younger self constantly, every single day. I remind myself of who I am, like Gina was talking about. The little girl in me wants to be playful, not to take everything serious. Because in the moment is the best present I could ever give myself. Tomfoolery can be serious. It can also be playful. It could be joyous. It could be sadness. So, not putting any restriction on myself to laugh. I don't need nothing to laugh about. I can go in that mirror right now and just laugh. Just be silly, right? Especially considering what's going on around the world today, we need a whole lot of tomfoolery to escape a little while the reality that's going on right now. So that's how, because I am tomfoolery. I connect with my younger self.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
Thank you for that answer. And I agree with you. We need tomfoolery. I think it balances out the scales, you know? For every side of one thing, we need the other just as much. I do have more questions if you guys have more time, or should we conclude?
Well, if Matthew wants, if you feel comfortable, we'd love to give you some space.
To just share anything essentially.
Well,
I just have questions.
Or answer whatever question the wall's got next. Either one.
Okay, so let me choose. Let's go. What question would you like to ask me, Miss Doel?
So you could choose between two. The first question is, how do you begin again? It's
Okay.
pretty much, how do you start over? And then the second question is, what's the best compliment you have received?
Okay, those are some good questions to you. Thanks, guys. How to begin again? Yeah, both very, very good questions. And then I do have like 2 minutes to talk or so. Thanks, Gina. So encouraging. Okay, so let me think. How to begin again versus. What was the second question?
The second question is, what's the best compliment you have received?
Okay. Yeah, those are all good questions. So yeah, these are all the kind of things that, like, for me, is kind of personal to me, and they pertain to kind of advice I've been given by like kind of elders, mentors, things like that. So for me, that's my headspace right now. Let me think of yeah, I do also thank you guys for your understanding. I'll go with the best I'll go with the best compliment I received, or at least at least one of those that I can remember. Because me, I have some really good stories for both, but I'll go with it because that's kind of fresh in my mind right now. So I'd say the best compliment I'd received was from someone I knew during my kind of senior year of high school. And so for me, the senior year of high school was kind of very one that was kind of very like decisive for me. I kind of last kind of year of high school, kind of ending, kind of being prepared for kind of independent life, and a lot of but also dealing with a lot of expectations from other people, including my parents, um, um, other yeah, I'm counting the ums, by the way, other peers, but mostly kind of immediate family that really wanted me to have a certain standard of success, and might not have always been encouraging as much as they could have. And so for me, I had spent that kind of year trying to kind of end out my academic tier out to kind of prepare for community college and to prepare for kind of going to the workforce, but also in trying to keep connections with friends that I knew would be moving away. And so one of the um, uh, one of the kind of or the compliment that I'm going to talk was from I think one of my friends named Ruben, who had for me he was um, I think he had ended up having to move away earlier in the year than we'd hoped. Like I think he was like he had joined one of my classes newly, but he had complimented me on I would ask him for like advice on like what he wanted to do with grow up, and he said, "Yeah, I don't um I don't believe in like this kind of social like kind of thing at all. He said he wanted to join the military, but he also said he wanted to kind of go out and explore kind of the world and go get out of there, get out of his what kind of parents' influence and kind of do things for himself. And so he said that he saw in me like that I'm someone that despite kind of my student has like kind of a good sense of like kind of right and wrong and willingness to kind of stick up for myself. And he inspired me like always keep resolute. That was his compliment. So always keep resolute and don't let other people like bully you, keep you down, no matter who they are. And so me, something I want to resoluteness, something I try to keep in with my kind of current approach to kind of work and life and such. And I want to kind of live by that value the best I can. But I hope that's a good thing as well. Could use some work, most definitely. But I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you, Gina. And thanks, Jim. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for sharing, Matthew. That's a strong, solid word, resolute. I like it. And welcome, and thank y'all for letting me run that table topic portion of our meeting. It's always my favorite. So I'm out.
All right. Thank you, Dalal. Those were a lovely set of questions, and we got some fabulous answers here, too. Next thing up on our list is our general evaluator. Whenever you're ready, Monique, I'd say take it away.
Yeah, I am your general evaluator, Monique, and I'm evaluating Gina, which is an honor. So excited. So what I want to value on is content and relevance. And it did mean a whole lot to me. I can definitely relate to your story of being your own hero. I've had some very rocky, unstable experience in my younger years in high school, middle school, elementary with race and colorism. So I can relate to you and identify with the long blonde hair, wanting to look like what was on TV to get validated. Uh, so thank you for that. That means I'm not alone in my journey. And the way you prepared and brought out the emotion, I felt it. I was engaged. So thank you for your engagement and the hand and the chills and the phone and giving the story because it sounded like at first it was like I'm intrigued and I got even more intrigued because you gave more content of what you're starting off with. You kept it consistent. You didn't veer off to the left or the right. You kept it consistent. Then you follow up with positive affirmation about self. So congratulations on that. I love it. It was amazing. So I already said about a clarity and understanding with the speech. The main message of the speech was clear. The emotional impact evoked some emotions in me. It had me going into a memory of my younger days and how I wanted to be friends with my next door neighbors. And because they were other race, My mom didn't find it necessary, or I want to say necessary. She didn't find it safe for me to play with those kids. Let's see. And the last one I want to talk about is practical takeaway. Practical takeaway for me is, were there any actionable takeaways from the speech? Yes, there was. Be yourself, period. You do not need validation from no one but self. Be bold, be courageous, be brave. That's what you displayed, no matter what. How many walls come, sayers come, you stand in the authority of Gina, period. And that's it for me. Back to you, Toastmaster Jim.
All right. Well, thank you, Monique. It looks like the next things up are our functionary reports, and we have a few of those. So, Jenna and Dalal, I don't know if you've compared notes, if you want to tell us anything more about timer numbers.
Yes, I can. Well, Dalal, do you have the time for my speech?
I do. I have the time for Gina's speech came in at 7 minutes and 37 seconds. And for your table topics, I believe it was around 147. That's my report.
Thank you. I know I I always go up to the limit. For me, I know working on cutting things back is what I have to work on. But I do have timing for everybody else. Alex, you had your speech at 1 minute 40 seconds. Jim, you had exactly 2 minutes. So if we're talking about take up space, you took up the exact amount of space. Let's see. Layla, I appreciate that you're trying new things. So thank you for engaging in table topics. It's okay. Everybody's nervous the very first time and you just build from there. So you really got me at when you were talking about joy, and I totally forgot to press start, but I started it late, and so I think it was a little around between 30 and 40 seconds. So I apologize for not starting it on time. Monique, I have you at 1 minute and 8 seconds, and your evaluation was 2 minutes and 55 seconds. So that was perfect. Matthew, I have you at about 4 minutes. I wasn't sure exactly when it actually started because I know that you were kind of thinking through what you were going to say. So I think I started it before you actually started your speech. But I'm so glad that you came and that you joined us and that you were willing to jump right in, even after only hearing one speech. So thank you for being here and thank you for participating in table topics.
Thank you, Gina, for having me. I really appreciate you guys.
And back to, I don't know if it's Jim or Monique here.
Oh, it's me.
Yep. If you want to do anything else going for functionaries, great. I can do it too, but you're certainly welcome. It's part of the general evaluator.
You know what? It is what it is. Don't
and
take
we'll
it
make
so
it work
serious.
however it comes out. So.
So now the general evaluator provides meetings and leader evaluation. Do I do that? Or we all do that?
So I think we're at, you can call the word of the day grammarian.
Okay, word of the day from Marion. Okay. Jim, you did the word of the day.
Yeah, I think that's me.
That's Jim.
I unfortunately didn't keep a really close count on tomfoolery, but I heard it probably about 8 times from various people here today. So it's a fun word, and I'm glad we got to actually all use it. Should have kept closer count, but I heard it a bunch. So.
Yes, I believe so. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
some fun grammar things I heard today. first few are from Jenna's speech. And I think at one point you said you were listening to this audio book at 2 a.m. in the morning. It's a little redundant. There aren't really any other 2 a.m. times. That one made me smile. If I heard the order of events right, too, it sounded like you were just driving on and entering the freeway, and you heard some phrase in the book that made you start furiously typing notes on your phone. Well, I hope you actually got home safely if that was going on as you were driving. Not sure if that's what you meant, but that's how I heard it. You had a couple other really fun phrases that I think are actually pretty profound. You brought up the imposter cloak, and I have one of those in my closet too. And it gets put on me every morning until I consciously, resolutely take it off. It's very easy to feel that way. And you also went on and said, yeah, the world likes to tear people down for being different. And I don't know, as somebody here who probably is a little less different than from quote unquote an average American than most of the folks here, I'll tell you they do this to me too. Maybe not because I look different, but certainly because I think different and operate different. They find a difference, whoever you are, and tear away. So I think Monique had the exact right answer there. Be yourself. Matthew had the right answer there. Be yourself resolutely.
Indeed.
That's enough. It'll be fine. I thought those two phrases were really profound, and even if there's not a lot of grammar to them, I figured they were worth highlighting. So thank you for those.
And thank you.
And that's it.
I think the next one up, Monique, is our eye counter.
Yes, our counter. Come on in, Alex.
Yeah. For Jim, I found 6-0, and with that one end, repeating superpower. For Gina, I have some repeating words or part of the words, rare imagining, pitfall, total title, while I was growing up. You have a filler because especially, and then so 3, and let's see. And Dalal, you have one and one For me, I have a lot of repeating words or different words that are weird. I couldn't write it down while I'm talking. Laila, you have but and Monique, you have cause so 5 3 1 1 and. For Matthew, you have a good amount of and and your favorite word is kind of and that repeating. That's it. Back to you.
Thanks, Alex.
And next we have, hold on, it was the all counter. And the timer, Delal already did, right? Jim did the word of the day. All counter, I believe that's it. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Great. Well, thank you, Monique. At the beginning of the meeting, I think you were also suggesting if anybody wanted to use the round robin eval for the meeting in general. Now, as I look at this, yeah, this is probably a good time to do that. As I look at the form, I don't see any names in the boxes. Maybe what we'll do is we'll just again let people jump in, and if they have any comments, either as a guest or as this round robin eval, this is a great spot to do it.
I can pop in. My name is Dalal, and I just want to say I love the diversity of this group, and I love all the different ideas that we get to share. And I get really a lot of inspiration and a lot of camaraderie in this room. It strengthens me and it strengthens my creative vision. And it makes me comfortable, which I think we need when we want to get creative. Stress-free, comfortable, and that's what I find in this meeting. It makes me want to get my notebook out. It makes me want to sit down and imagine and get creative. So thank you everyone for that. Yeah.
If anybody else want to check out the Gina, you got one too?
I just
Okay.
wanted to give a quote. My favorite quote from today came from you, Monique, and it was, "In the moment is the best present I can ever give myself." And now
Oh,
you,
that's a nice use of present.
yes, yes. So I'm gonna keep that quote and I'm gonna make sure that I give you credit for that, but I might use that in one of my presentations that I have
I
because
love it. Love
but
it.
it makes me realize that we're all saying some really profound things, just as Jim said when he was giving his functionary report. So I just now I realize I just need to keep my notebook by my side and
And I
record
don't even
all of
have
these.
mine by my side. I was like, yo, we got some really good things going on in here, and I ain't got nothing written down.
Yeah, there's something special about these meetings. So I really appreciate each and every one of you for showing up and being here today because I think that it helps me learn and it helps me grow and it helps me evolve. So thank you all.
And you're welcome, Gina. Anybody else want to use the general evaluator? You guys see it? Alex, come on in.
Yeah. Three things that I love about your speech. I'm a sucker for personal story. It makes us know more about you. And I think you did a great job in improving your speech because I remember before, there's something that's missing that you added today. Do you know what it is? It's the roller coaster of emotion. We get to hear you struggle the 2 a.m. 2 hour sleep, and we get to cheer with you when you find out what you want. So that roller coaster of emotion that you bring us to experience what you have experienced. So that's personal story, that's emotion. And the third is I can feel the passion. You're passionate about being an educator, about the educational system, and knowing about your core. That relates so much to me. And thank you so much for that. And then two challenges that I would recommend is I noticed, even though it's relatable, I would love you to add more participation on the audience at the beginning or middle. At the end, though, you did ask us a question, which is great, which is have you answered yours, which also doubles as a action item for us to answer our question. I would add one more thing for that is have a little bit more specific on actionable item. Maybe reach out to me after this, or maybe start with this first step. So it will be more something that we can work on right after this meeting. But overall, I enjoyed your presentation. I love the emotional roller coaster, knowing more about you, and I'm feeling your passion through this screen. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you,
Awesome,
Alex.
Alex.
Anybody else? All right, I think that's it. Back to you, Toastmaster Jim.
All right. Thank you, Monique, and thank you to everybody for being here and speaking your mind tonight. That is what makes these meetings work. It really is a place where you can be yourself and we'll all feed off of each other and not tear you down and come out of here a whole lot more motivated and content creative than we were coming in. So hope that's how everybody feels coming out of these meetings. Let's see, there's a handful of things here in the agenda. I'm just trying to hit the right button so I can make sure I hit all the points that are here. We do have another Google spreadsheet where you can sign up for roles for next week. I'm trying to remember. Do we have a speaker for next week? I think we do. We have a guest speaker for next week, and we can use, it looks like pretty much any other of the Toastmasters roles. You could be Toastmaster, you could do table topics, you could be general evaluator, you could be timer. They're all open. And yes, Jenna just put that in the chat too. Great. So feel free to sign up if you'd like to grab a role. They're basically all open as of now. And the other nice thing too is if you sign up, we know you're coming. So that's also helpful. If you'd like to actually be a member of the club, I think we're still accepting membership applications too. And I don't think I have the link for that, but I bet Jenna does.
I
Once
do. I will put that in the chat.
once we get a couple more members, I think pretty soon we'll be at a spot where we can start filling the rest of the officer roles, having actual election, and take our temporary list of officers and make them permanent. So lots of opportunities to participate, lots of opportunities to speak, lots of opportunities to lead. And Toastmasters gives you those all for just a little bit of money. So I'd say, yeah, I'd say if you're getting value out of these meetings, certainly consider if you'd like to join. And it helps the club, it helps you, and helps us fill some of these leadership roles as well. So we all learn together here in content creators, and be happy to have you as part of it. Anything else that I should be mentioning, Jenna, or do you think I hit the big things for next week?
I think that is mostly it. And Monique, I know that you said that you're coming every other week. Is that correct? All right. Well, thank you for being here. I still have to figure out, I know I'm in Sacramento for a conference. If I do join next week, I might be in the car traveling, and I might not be able to participate as much, but I will try my best to be at the meeting next week. So, but I did want to open it up to Layla to see what you thought of this meeting, and if you have any feedback or any questions for us before we adjourn.
Yes, I fully enjoyed it. It's very insightful. Um, it's only just my second time participating, and I'm gradually trying to learn the format of the meetup so I could sign up for the evaluator or the timekeeper or the counter. I really love everybody's energy and how welcoming the group is. So being in Japan, it's a very reserved country. We don't really openly get into like a discussion and pretty much anything. So it's really nice to be out here. I'm a language teacher actually, so I really need to teach the young ones how to kind of like brush up on their speech. So I feel like a really like a student being here, like really learning from all of you, and I really appreciate the opportunity. So I'll try to keep joining, and I hope I can take on those roles starting from next week. But thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for being here. Arigato gozaimasu. Is that right?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I did. So the picture in my background is Shargao. I went to Japan actually for a week, and then we came to the Philippines in Shargao. And so that's what I did last year. So I mean, I picked up a couple of Japanese phrases, but I'm hoping to go back someday.
Wonderful.
And I appreciate you being here and hope to see you. Just come back as much as you can, and eventually if you feel ready, we'd love for you to become a member. So
okay.
yes, and with that, it is just about 6:45, and I'm going to officially adjourn this meeting. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. And I will see you all later.
Thank you. Have a very nice weekend.
Bye. Have a good evening.
Bye.